Purity culture imprisons women in marriages at a young age that they can't get out of. How does it stop? Actually, teachers. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm a deep skeptic, also a pastor. Okay, so in places that exist in the purity culture ecosystem, women are taught that their only purpose, their primary purpose, is to be wives and mothers. It is about being a perfect wife and a perfect mother. That is the goal of their life. And so they are pressured from a very young age. It starts really early, like 10 years old. The pressure begins to build to be married. So most of them get married at a young age, like in their late teens, early 20s. In fact, one woman that I spoke with said that she was considered an old maid at 22. Many of them go to college, often Christian colleges, and when they get married during college, they fulfilled one of the main goals of their life, and education really doesn't serve that. And so many of them just drop out and become wives. It's called, in that culture, getting your MRS degree. They're also told that they should obey their husbands, that husbands are the head of the household. They are their leader. Sometimes their husbands even punish them when they do something wrong. It is a perfect recipe for an incredibly toxic relationship, abusive and just all the things. And when they realize that this relationship is not good for them or for their kids, they generally come to a realization that they can't leave for two reasons. The first reason is they didn't get their degree. They don't have a career. They don't have a way to make money and support their family. And you might say, well, then they should move in with their family, finish their degree. But that's the problem. Their family was part of this evangelical fundamentalist purity culture. And one of the tenets of that culture is divorce is a sin. And these families won't take you in because they're gonna say, no, you have to go back, make things right with your husband. They'll say things like, what did you do to make him angry? I talked to this woman who was completely brainwashed by purity culture. Like, she forced the word obey to be added to the wedding vows. But when she was unraveling all of that, she actually had a degree. How did that happen? A teacher. She was in high school, and a clear-eyed teacher, which a lot of high school teachers are, even in areas that have these purity cultures, because teachers actually care about the well-being of their students. This teacher said, I am tired of watching the women in our community go to college, get a husband, and drop out and not get their degree. And so the teacher made her promise to finish her degree. Not her parents, her teacher. And let's just give this teacher the props that she deserves. Mary Lynn Finner is her name. Way to go, Mary Lynn, for helping stop this horrible cycle. And so she promised the teacher that she would get her degree. She did get engaged during college, but that engagement was way longer than the engagement of her friends because she was gonna finish her degree. And it wasn't her parents, which is wild, but you know, her parents are steeped in this purity culture. And so she had a husband, her husband was gonna support her. So what was the point of the degree? My mom was a high school teacher, and teachers are amazing and magical and really influential because during high school especially, these teachers spend more time with the students often than their parents do. They establish very strong, influential mentor kinds of relationships, and they can be the bulwark against one of the most imprisoning and toxic and damaging parts of purity culture. So, teachers, make your students promise. If you'd like to hear that whole conversation, it exists in my longer form audio content called Unbelief. You know what kind of thing that is? Yeah, you should check it out.